Hi, everyone. Welcome to Relatively Sane. I have to talk about something. When people come up to me and go, "Are you okay?" You know how they scrunch their eyebrows and they lift their cheekbones up? "Are you okay?" All I can ever think is "Are you okay?" Why do you constantly ask me this? It makes me think they're not okay, which is really true. I mean, a lot of times people ask us questions or accuse us of things that they are themselves. I don't even know what I'm talking about. The truth is all day I've been wanting to eat bread. And what I do is I'll eat gluten-free bread, which is fucking bread. It's not okay. It's not healthier. It's actually more fattening a lot of the time. But I tell myself it's okay. And I'm not even gluten-free. I eat gluten-free pasta. It's just crazy. What am I doing? Oh my God, you know what I had today? A Tootsie Roll Pop. I don't eat them in public because it seems too sexual, but how amazing are Tootsie Roll Pops? I love all of them. My favorite is red, then I love the apple one. I love the grape one, the blue one, and I actually like all of them, but my least favorite are the brown and orange. I just feel like they taste like shit. Oh boy, are we all going to die? No, we're not. Let's be positive. Let's just think that everything is going to be okay. On another note, my mother wasn't around when I was a child, and I feel like that's why I overeat. All right, so how is everything? I'm so manic right now, but it's fun. I'm jumping from one subject to the other. I did the funniest thing the other day. I mean, it wasn't funny. I did equine therapy. Has anyone ever done that? It is so not helpful. They were like, "Oh, the horses will make you feel better." So they had me just look in the eyes of the horse. This is a true story. And his eyes were filled with semen. And I was like, this is not comforting because I feel like the horse was looking at me like, "Why the fuck are you staring at me?" I feel like I triggered the horse. And then I feel like the chores did the chores. I feel like the chores higgered me. And it was so weird. This is a true story. I swear on my life, this is an absolutely true story. It was supposed to be a therapy session. I was looking at the horse. Then I looked down, and I'm not kidding. I swear on my life, a baseball bat was hanging. Has anyone ever seen a horse with an erection? It was like I was completely traumatized by that. So it didn't help me. I felt like it was gonna enter me. I mean, Uh, thank God it didn't. It's actually too little. I like something twice that size. This is getting inappropriate. If the children are listening, have them still listen because they already watch porn and hear everything online and see everything. So I did that, and then I was like, "Okay, Jessica, try to be into it. It's okay." And then, no joke, a fly flew into my ear. Flew into my ear. So while I'm supposed to be getting this therapy, I'm hearing zzz. I freaked out. I tried to get it out and I pushed it into my brain. It was in my brain. Has anyone ever had an animal inside of them? Because it's weird to have an animal inside of you. It was inside of me. Um, so I'm 10 times more traumatized. So I suggest not to go to equine therapy if you don't want to see a huge hard-on. I mean, huge. I'm talking like a wiffle bat hard-on, semen in the horse's eye, and getting fucked by flies. Ugh, I wish I said that clearly because it would have been so much funnier. But now the joke's not going to do as well because I stuttered. It's okay, Jessica. Love yourself. It's all going to be okay. You're going to do fine. You really are. And so are you. All of you are going to be fine. We're all going to be okay. You guys are the best for listening to my podcast. Spread the word. If you can do anything, please spread the word about the podcast because we just have to get this out there. We have to tell people about it. I'm going to just start venting on my podcasts, I think. I am going to do a couple alone very soon, and I'm just going to rant. That's what I'm going to do. Because my head is spinning, and I'm sure yours is too. It's just, things could be worse. Thank God there aren't wildfires. All right. Talk to you guys. You're amazing. Love you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Relatively Sane. I am here with I love that he's laughing while I'm talking. And I think it's because I'm going.
I didn't realize the name of the show.
Relatively Sane. It's really how I
Yeah, right.
feel. And it's like a play on words because of relative, whatever. Nothing matters anymore. I'm here with one of the people I've known the longest in this business.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Who's brilliantly funny, brilliant. I'm here with Kurt Metzger.
Thank you for having me. Did you just have Kyle? It's funny. I got to meet him after this.
You're meeting? That's so funny. Yeah, he just did it.
Yeah.
Do you know how funny? I know you know how funny he is. He put in an app that makes him a filter that made him look more handsome.
Oh, Handsome Kyle. Yeah, I know about Handsome. That's part of the. Yeah, we had because we do his Patreon. I write these sketches with him, and so we have hours of doing Zoom podcasts that he just won't. He's like Prince. He just won't put shit up. Because he's I don't know if it's I'm like, dude, just put it up, please.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Crazy. Kyle's very talented. He's
he's beyond.
I mean, I didn't even know how talented he was of all the shit he can do. Because he plays every instrument. I didn't know that. He does
Is he autistic?
No.
He might be.
No, he has a funny ass story too. In fact, in the Handsome Kyle thing we were shooting, which I don't know if he'll ever feel the confidence to put it up. I can only combat his dysmorphia so much.
Yeah. Yes. So, I know. I deal with that with certain friends. It's very annoying. It's this is brilliant. You're wasting it. Whatever. I can't force you to put it up, but
he's this is why I relate to him a lot is because we both were just writers for stuff and on other things for a while. I certainly am just conditioned to get a job somewhere, making jokes for other people. I'm a very much a specialist with that. And I was never good at starting my own, I didn't want to have to start my own business and shit.
Yeah.
A lot of ambitious people are they know the name of their fucking production company in their head when they start open mics. I started with Kevin Hart. Kevin was a dude that was on point with business immediately. Fat. And I've never seen anybody. And there's nothing that he did or got that wasn't because he hustled it. Do you know what I mean?
I know that very well about him. And a lot of people have said that. I totally saw it from the beginning. There's people you just know. I saw that.
Somebody's going to be famous. Yeah, for sure.
I saw it in Amy Schumer. I saw it in certain people who I knew were going to really navigate through this business-wise in a, very.
Yeah. And we, by the way, just for a side note, what I like about him is he's he was never a different guy.
I know.
From the time I met him, he was the same fucking dude.
Yep.
There's nothing where it's oh, you're a famous guy. He was a famous guy when he was not a famous guy. He was oh, this is a famous guy.
I know. I felt the same way. And I saw him a couple of years ago and he stood up out of his, he got up, from his chair to give me a hug. I'm like, oh my God, you're so not like these other fucking assholes who barely even look at you. He just had a
lot of charisma out of the gate.
Yeah.
And so, so I started, it was me, him, and Big J.
Right, from Philly.
Time. Yeah, and
I remember when you came to New York. I completely remember it.
Laurel and Hardy with Jay.
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
So
yeah.
He fucking shit. Why didn't I bring up? Oh, anyway, Kev's business acumen was on point. I was a jerk off. I mean, both of us when we came up here, I got into comedy specifically to not learn bit. I just thought I could just do the fun part.
Yeah.
And then you
just
get people that do that.
Yeah.
And by the way, for a long chunk of time, it is like that. People, if you write jokes people you can be that to a point. But it's you don't have I didn't have that kind of ambition. I had ambition, but I didn't have that kind of ambition. Kev's dream of hosting the Oscars.
I don't have it either, and it'll never happen.
Yeah, she put me that joke about that's a strange fantasy for a young man but it's true. That's a guy. That's Ryan Seacrest in your heart.
Yeah.
So whatever. I don't, like I said, I don't begrudge anybody that because I'm oh, they wanted the thing, they did what they had to do and got it for whatever. But now you got to do your own thing because of just how the business is. I mean, it's not just a business. All the institutions. I can't think of a single institution that is dependable at the moment. I mean, that's why
right.
why do you keep dropping out?
I don't know. I hear you
it's that
perfectly.
thing where it's happening on your end. That's weird this time. It
Is
sometimes happens to me on mine, where when somebody starts to talk at the same time, it'll drop your voice out.
I know it happens on Zoom a lot.
Zoom was never meant for this.
I know. Who the fuck even knows what Zoom is? I'm just on it. I have no idea what's going on.
I do all my business on TikTok. Is that okay? I do all my important
your pitch meetings you do on TikTok.
All my so Kyle's like me, where we're like these like institutionalized Kyle shocks me because he's such a guy that should be out front on his own thing.
I know.
That's why I like writing with him, because he's like, it's really somebody that can do that many things. It's like an action figure with a lot of feature, like where you could write like you know what I mean. It's genuinely enjoyable coming up with shit for to do with him, and he's just like a funny dude. So it blows my mind if we like make a thing like he's so. Sometimes he makes me better too, because he's very exacting. Like, I don't know if this is good enough. And you could always make things a little better, so it's good to have that. Do you know what I mean?
It is. There's a balance. Like I always
just a balance.
Right. There's some
like
comics
podcast.
who suck and they're like, this is the greatest thing and I should be. I'm like, what? And then there's people who are brilliant who never push themselves to the next level because they never think it's good enough. So it's frustrating.
Yeah, it's not like Kyle's not lazy at all, but he'll work on his shit all day.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, I'll do that. What is there else to do? Like, it's all I have is to work on shit.
I know. Where did you grow up? In Philly?
No, mostly in New Jersey, but I was born in Ohio.
Wait, where in Jersey? I'm from Jersey. I didn't even know that.
Toms River.
Oh, okay. I grew up in South Orange.
Oh, no shit. I tried to become a repo man in Orange.
We all have stories. I mean, it's so crazy.
I went to the place. I was like for interview with the guy, and he was like, "Did you just see the movie Repo Man or something?" I was like, and I had. That's why I thought I should be a repo. He goes, "It's not like that movie." I was like 17. And then I did become an assistant to a repo man when I lived with Jay in Queens.
Yeah.
And our landlord, who was like, he was a good guy. Like, it's just like I never had money. I didn't have any fucking comedy money coming in. So I would go with him to watch his back on repos. Like, just because you have to have a tow truck license and all this other shit to do it. So he just needs somebody to go with him. So if in case anybody sneaks up to hit him, you just go, "Hey, look out!" And he would wear a bulletproof vest.
Maybe you could do that again. I'm thinking about things I can do.
I would have rather been hit in the head with a wrench than the worst day of it. This is the saddest thing ever, man. We had to go to some poor neighborhood. This is my fault because I woke up late because he'd go in the morning.
Oh no!
We go to get this car. This little old black lady and this little girl come out in tears, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And then the mom came out and just like she was very polite. There wasn't any kind of like confrontation. It made it worse. It was like even more like it just like felt bad. This is my fault because we could have got the car and been out. So
I know that's so.
But I would never. I mean, this poor fucking. I mean, Wayne. That's my old landlord, Wayne. He's a nice guy, man. Well, you have to. The steel you have to have in your heart for that. The getting attacked shit's not even as bad as like that. Where you're like, oh my god. When the people are like nice about it and they're like, "Yeah, I can't afford it," and you're like,
"Oh, especially now, shit like that's gonna happen again." I mean, not again, but it's gonna be common now.
Oh, it's gonna be. When this next round of $600 doesn't go out, if it doesn't go out,
Kurt,
everybody gets.
I've been saying the same thing.
Yeah,
things have not gotten when that happens, and the money and the market. Forget about the market, the economy, people. I mean, forget it. So when you grew up, in Jersey. Were you an only child? Do you have siblings?
I got a brother and a sister.
Oh, cool. What, did you have like an okay childhood? I mean, I didn't. That's why I'm asking.
I mean, I don't know. Relatively, it had its issues.
I mean, were you a happy kid?
No.
Yeah, I wasn't either. People hate hearing that.
Unhappy, like, I mean, I had moments of happiness, but it just overall, I didn't like being at home, and I didn't want to. It wasn't like a good. But I feel bad saying because I don't want to imply like my shit about my mom or.
It's not. It's just the dynamic. Meaning, my parents had a horrible marriage, so it was a nightmare to be in my house.
That shit's unreal to deal with.
Unreal.
And that's from the generation of like you have to stay together for the kids, which like
that's exactly right.
Don't do it for the kids.
Kurt, I used to. Do you know the only time I ever got on my knees and prayed before I was an adult was I used to pray that my parents would get divorced. I literally was 11, 12 years old, and I used to go, please, God, please, because they hated each other. And it was a nightmare.
It's such a, like, yeah, I don't know why anyone, well, the way they put it to you is like, that's a sacred bond. And, in Jehovah's Witnesses, you can't get you can get a divorce, but you can't like remarry unless your husband or wife cheated on you. That's the only legitimate divorce, really. So even getting hit is not a, it's a Bible thing.
Were they both Jehovah's Witnesses? Did you grow up with the whole, Yeah. So you were like forced into, because I don't know a lot I've heard about it.
I was born into it.
Right. And then did you have to live by all of those rules like until you were a teenager? Like how did?
Yeah, but a lot of this stuff, the parts I have a problem with are not. I don't give a shit about the Christmas aspect. This is how people usually.
I know.
Oh my God, you couldn't do Christmas and your birthday.
I know. They say the high puts like, oh, you're Jewish. Let me hide my money. Like people are so dumb.
I am sorry I said that to you, and I wish you would drop it. Hold on, let me hide my money.
You know what I'm talking about. They come up. There's the same like 2 or 3 things for every fucking thing. Like that's the thing with Jehovah's Witnesses. You don't celebrate Christmas. It's like with Mormon. When you're a Mormon, you can't. I know they can't drink alcohol or coffee. That's all I know.
Right. Or whatever wacky. Like, don't you have magic? Ryan Hamilton is Mormon. I'm like, do you have magic underwear? That's not really what it is.
That's hysterical.
But that's not what I'm talking about. Is not the where people. I don't even give a shit about that so much. Or people's dumb like joke about it. Because sometimes it's funny when people they're like, "What do you guys have to bury your dead in the backyard or something?" Like, yes, that makes me laugh. The thing where it's genuine sympathy of people like, "Oh, you grew up without Christmas or without your birthday," and I was like, "Is that the part that seems the worst to you?"
Yeah, that's not the worst. That's the best. So funny.
That's the best. That's the part I'd like to sincerely thank the organization for. That I don't have to have those stupid fucking attachments that would like depress me.
Yes.
It's the thing that I have an issue with is the part where you gotta like keep your reservations down. If you don't agree or something, you just assume you're wrong, and you put the organization first because it's God's organization. And you like the worst thing happen is you bring reproach on Jehovah's name. And you stumble because people, when Armageddon comes, which by the way, it looks like it is.
Yeah, it's very looking like it's coming up soon.
Yeah, and you do something that takes someone's faith away or helps stumble them, as it says in the Bible. That's like a terrible thing. So I don't like that. That's like the cover for a lot of bullshit. And I didn't get molested or anything like that, but I had a friend who did, which I found out years later. Jehovah's Witnesses had the largest settlement against them from the courts for molestation. Not Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. I didn't know. I was like, oh, how about that? And the reason is not because a person in authority did it and they none of that shit. So the person who molested this, I think it was a girl. The person who did this wasn't even like a prominent. I don't even know if he was baptized. He was just a guy that went to the meetings, I think. However, the elders, in their infinite wisdom, did not go to the fucking police immediately. They handled the shit in house.
This happens a lot with religious.
And this is from the Bible.
Yeah.
There's always the thing of immorality, which fundamentally I got a huge problem with. Is like in the Bible, it's if a woman doesn't scream in the Old Testament, we didn't call it the Old Testament because they're both just as important, but the Hebrew scriptures, as we called them, in our Mosaic law, if the woman didn't scream while being raped, then it's fornication or adultery and not rape. That was written in the. Okay, so that's the big crime with this stuff is with these sexual things.
Yes,
is not the violation of you. It's the sexual immorality.
Mm-hmm.
That's like kind of prioritized, you know?
Because in a lot of religions, it's
Yeah.
it's all about the same shit constantly.
Right. Well, look, I look at it as, because they used to tell us you have to imagine somebody in the Bible, like how you act. You know, it's almost akin to what would Jesus do. You're like, you're supposed to go, what if Moses was here right now and saw how you were?
That's
you know,
so funny.
you're supposed to say that, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you say. Like they had slaves and shit. Like, look, I don't judge. I'm not anti them. I'm like, oh, the Bible's a vile book. Some people are like, hate. Like, I'm sure at the time when they were around, that worked for them to get them through whatever.
Yeah.
I don't have no judgment because I'm not from there. I don't know what you went through. But conversely, Moses don't have shit to say to me. Like, I never had a slave, motherfucker. So I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
What your judgment or anybody's. So that's just the thing. But you see, they have to include all that kind of stuff, because the hook for being a member is when the shit hits the fan, like it appears to be, you want to survive Armageddon, or at least be resurrected into the new system after it happens. So that's part of the don't stumble your brother is it's so important. This is the only thing, because there's a lot of shit to write about. Like, all this shit doesn't matter. Like the government, the Hollywood, and all the things that are like, I never thought entertainment was a kind of heaven on earth you go to for, you know how, like, if you're woke, that's the religion.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you get to be in this job because of your good behavior, your perfect record, or fucking crazy. It's crazy. So I don't have those kind of, I'm not like Greta Thunberg about nothing, where I'm like so upset and autistic I can't go to school in Sweden or whatever the fuck. I already have been desensitized to that idea of Armageddon. So I'm like,
yeah. Did your parents care that you didn't like stay religious?
I left when I was an adult. My mom did. Yeah, I mean, they did. But my father got this fellowship when I was an adult for, because he was like really drinking a lot by then. Like he and my mom didn't talk to me for maybe like a month. But my mom is not going to, she's not that type of mom where she could, like, I know people where their families cut them off.
Oh, I do too. That's why I'm asking. I know.
But my mother's not that type that could do that. You know, most of the people I know, because I had friends that I moved to New York with that also were Jehovah's that stopped, and they talked to their mom. It's just their mom probably wouldn't talk to me now.
Right.
I think I'm disfellowshipped. I don't even know. I never like bothered to find out, but I assume I am because I just stopped going. So
yeah,
my mom wanted me to like write a letter to. I'm like, I'm not writing a letter. I don't give it. What is this? Like, I don't owe them anything.
I love write a letter. So my mom's a therapist. So every time I'm upset with someone, she tells me to write them a letter.
Yeah, Barry used to
and
tell
not
me to
send
do that.
it. Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's like, it's so funny how fucked up, like Twitter is, because it's so close to the therapy, but with that one step, it becomes bad.
Right. So, yeah.
It's like, it's just this one tweak away from therapeutic into damaging for every level of society.
It's so horrible. I think Twitter is the worst. I can't get off it, but I think.
Well, it's not. Well, do you mean can't get off it like you can't stop looking at it all the time, or you put like promos and shit?
Right. I use it for promotion, but I do get hooked in. The second I look, I start getting hooked in, seeing stories, the politics. Like I don't watch the news anymore. I don't look at, but when I'm on Twitter, I see it.
I can't stand it.
Me either. I mean, I really like, have you, I know you've dealt with anxiety and depression and different things. Like, what has this whole thing done to you? I mean, it's done a doozy on me. That's why I'm asking you. Have you?
I was already, I mean,
yeah.
At the moment, at the height of its worst, I'm feeling better than I did a year ago.
Yeah.
I was already in the state of that, so I don't like.
Were you in the state of fear? Like, because of what was going on in the world?
all kinds of fuck. I mean, just like all kinds of other shit that I had to go through. It's like, the bottom line is, people feeling that now, like, and somebody else must have said this, but there's plenty of people who have just felt like that the whole time.
No, a lot of people have said that.
Like, the world's going to end, because for them it was.
Yeah.
So for people to get mad, it's like, well, I mean, guess what? Welcome to what a million other people have just felt all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not saying about myself, like, welcome to my world. But,
no, but
I understand that if you're already living in a thing of like, Jesus fucking Christ, like, it ain't anything. It's only people that are like, stand to lose, you know?
Yeah. Like I was always a gloom and doom kind of person anyway, but this is
Right.
this is more about career stuff for me and like what is happening with that and where it's going to go and whatever.
Well, that's like you have your own thing. Like my podcast, Can't Get Right, by the way, on Gas Digital. Mine's doing well now. Like it doubled since like I'm glad I started doing it because
yeah, it's so good.
And the thing I do with Kyle, like that's like genuinely fun, and that's like a thing we own.
Yeah, it's so important to do your own stuff. It really is.
Yeah, so as long as you have a thing, and what it is now is, it's funny when the last collapse kind of happened in housing. I was doing better financially than as a comic, and I think what it is once there's a supposed time of plenty or whatever, that's when they can afford to have like not funny comedy and like entertainment that is to troll you.
Mm-hmm.
Like the entertainment, I mean, across the board has a built-in "fuck you."
I
America.
know everything, music,
to the fans. Yeah, comedy. Yeah. Like when Nanette came out, this is why this is why I couldn't believe. This is my favorite. When I was like, what is everybody? Because people I know, the industry people would tell me it's good in like a straight. Like no, I'm like, you think that's better than like if you went to a restaurant. I made this joke to on my podcast, but the way it was described, saying, "Oh, you have to say that it's amazing." Like, let's say it's a restaurant, you got to eat at this restaurant,
right?
Nanette, and you're like, "Oh, really?" You're like, yeah, it's the best.
The restaurant's also called Nanette's.
Yeah, you sit down, and then the chef comes out. You're like, "What do you eat?" And you're like, "No, there's no food." The chef comes out and tells you he was raped.
My God.
All right. And then it's a meal that's long overdue, and then he quits being a chef. He's like, "By the way, I'm not cooking anymore." You're like, "Thank you for sharing your fucking pain with me, chef. That's why I came to this restaurant."
I didn't watch it. I watched a little, and then
Well, because if you had, it would have upset you to see the critical acclaim. If you had, I watched it all the way through.
Well, she has another one that she was just nominated for her special again.
God damn it! There's a fucking. I opened my door and a fucking neck. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, the industry has always just validated horse shit. The thing that's gross now is the validating of shit that's not even. It's like, stop trying to be like you're good. Like I saw it when fucking. I personally dislike Tig very much, Notaro, but I saw it with her where everybody's like, "Oh, isn't it wonderful?" I worked with her. She's not good. She can't write. I've been there. She's not for all these people. She's amazing. Is she? Or are you happy that she didn't die of cancer and she was a lesbian? Is that what
and
this is?
She's a lesbian.
They're like, I'm so glad she didn't die, and see, it's a lesbian. I'm like, I mean, I could think off the top of my head like 4 lesbians that are better than her.
I've never gotten that. Let's help Jessica because she's a lesbian thing. I'm like,
you never.
No, it's more like I'm a guy.
Like in the dark if you were lesbian or not, but that never. Any conversation I was like, oh yeah, I like seeing Jessica. She's hilarious. It's the only conversation I hear.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying that about Tig except on a documentary about Tig. Like nobody's going, oh, it's great to be around. But anyway. It's whatever. So
you think people are liking things and responding for political reasons? I don't mean politics, but for political
and
reasons.
It's always politics it's like nepotism and hooking up. That's always a part of it. But now there's a thing where people are confusing like their morality with it, like which is horrifying. Like I don't turn to comedy. I blame Jon Stewart. I honestly, because he did the Daily Show and it was a good show, and then a whole generation. And to his credit, he never claimed he was the news to trust.
Yeah.
He would say, no, you watch, like, I should not be your source of news.
Uh-huh.
The news people should be doing their job, which I give him credit for that. That's totally right.
Mm-hmm.
But a whole generation, and then a whole bunch of news people who want to be in their news are like, I'd like to be like Jon Stewart, but like a little bit more on the newsy side, but I do a little Jon Stewart. It launched 1,000 bad shit, and then the rest was Portlandia, I blame. Portlandia validated Portland in a way it never should have been, and Portland is fucking out of control. I mean, it's just out of control. And when I say out of control, I mean across every entertainment thing, much like when grunge came, but grunge was better. There's like a Pacific Northwest mode of thought that is infected like every single.
In what way? You mean with PC stuff?
All the woke bullshit, all the PC shit.
Yeah, I'm not woke at all. I don't even. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Thank you so much to all of my Patreon members for supporting the podcast.
All right, hold up. Could you take a little off the P's? You're hitting them too hard. Not action.
Thank you so much to all of my Patreon members for supporting the podcast.
Hold on. Now you're whispering Patreon. Is there a reason you're whispering?
Well, you said to take the
Somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
You ready? Action.
Thank you so much to all of my Patreon member.
Now you got to pause.
For those of you who don't know, Patreon members, is that okay? It
was perfect. Why'd you stop?
Oh, okay. Patreon members.
Cut. Let's go back to the beginning.
Thank you
And action.
Thank you so much to all my Patreon members for supporting the podcast. For those of you who don't know, Patreon members get early access to the podcast, ad-free episodes, and access to monthly live streams where we talk more about...
All right, let's take it back to the beginning. That was perfect. Do it exactly like that.
I just did it well, though, but why are you starting over? Thank you so much to all of my patron...
Cut. Why are you screaming?
Because I'm just trying to get through this.
Action.
Thank you so much to all of
Action.
Thank you so much to all of my Patreon members. For those of you who don't know, Patreon members get early access to the podcast.
Perfect. Keep going.
There's so many P's.
Keep going. Keep going.
Ad-free episodes.
You could cut this out, right?
For those of you who don't know, Patreon members get early access to the podcast, ad-free episodes, and access to monthly live streams where we talk more about being relatively sane.
Hold up. Did we agree on monthly live streams?
Yes, you told me I should do them because it'll get more members.
I don't know how to do a monthly live stream.
Don't you just talk in your phone?
We'll figure it out. Come on, let's get through this. We have to go. We should speed this up.
All right. Thank you so much to all my Patreon members for supporting this podcast. For those of you who don't know, Patreon members get early access to the podcast, ad-free episodes, and access to monthly live streams. We don't know what that is, but whatever, where we talk about being relatively sane. If you want to join our fantastic community that is so corny, go to patreon.com/Jessica Kirson. That's patreon.com/Jessica Kirson. That's Patreon.
I think you said patriot.com.
Go to patreon.com/Jessica Kirson. That's patreon.com/Jessica Kirson. Patreon.com/Jessica Kirson. Thanks again.
And cut. That's a wrap.
Ugh.
It's not now it's just the best name we have for it. but it's such like it's like the getting jiggy with it of now.
Getting jiggy with it.
Yeah, remember when that song came out, and then I remember watching Ricky Lake, and she had an episode, "Who's the Jiggiest?" because that song was popular. I'm like, that's not going to age well. Woke is that like a thing, like an offhanded thing somebody black said that somebody white took and made into a thing,
And triggered. Where did triggered come from? That became a huge one.
Well, I thought that's just psychology shit, right? Because you knew about all these words before I did.
Psychology. Triggered.
I remember you used to laugh. You used to know all. You told me you know all the psychobabble years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. The I don't feel safe and all that shit.
You're not hearing me. I don't feel safe. I don't feel heard. You're projecting.
Yeah, right.
So what you're saying is you don't hear. So what you're saying is you don't feel heard or seen by what I'm saying to hear you. What?
So all these kids have they know. I didn't know this. Like I was reading a thing about it. They know psychology tricks and they know the authority of.
It happened to me. You know that happened to me. I've talked about it a bunch of times now, but it happened to me a couple weeks ago on Twitter. Are you on Twitter?
Oh, with the
yeah, you saw
no,
that.
I don't go on like that.
Well, Joe flipped out. Joe DeRosa, everyone flipped out and went crazy because they tried
on you.
They tried to cancel me because of a video I did 4 years ago.
Right. But they weren't. Joe wasn't against you.
No, he was protecting me. Everyone was, but that's why it went away so fast. Thank God. But what happened was that I was being called a racist.
Yeah, I saw.
And I'm like, I'm not a racist.
Talking about it.
I can't. I'm not going to say I am. And what happened was like they literally were just set on it. Some people and were not allowing me to not.
Yeah, you got to just
it was
not engage.
Crazy. That's what
all you can do. You
Yeah.
can't defend yourself.
No, because it's indefensible. You're wrong, and that's it.
Yeah, the defense is to not see. That's a low like that chick that started. That's a fucking loser too. I was looking at her articles and shit. Oh, we were making fun of her dumb. She has a whole article about how she's like basically undateable. That's the the thing. It's just about how she doesn't have one partner. She has like 8 that just come and fuck her and not in a real. It's like because you probably are insufferable. It's in the Guardian.
I don't have anyone doing it.
Yeah, and also it was like, what did she say she was? The title? It was like, wait, so you're just bisexual? If you announce you're bisexual, shut up. Like, who gives a shit that you're bisexual? People announce that like they're gay. Like they go, I need to come out and say,
Mom, Dad, I'm bisexual. They're like, we are too.
Shut up.
We are too.
And that, and I'll tell you what, there's no tolerance for asexuals.
That
People
I don't
tolerate
get.
That.
I don't understand.
You're gay. Just say you're gay.
Right.
Like, no,
I don't
asexual.
understand how someone, unless you're on a heavy amount of medication, which I am, why you would not have any sexual feelings towards anyone. I'm not judging it. I just don't understand it.
No, that's right. People cannot understand another person's, fundamentally, whether they accept it or not. There's a thing where people just can't understand somebody else either.
Kurt.
I notice this with drug habits too. They can't understand, like a heroin addict cannot understand a coke addict.
I know.
And it's the same with like sexual things. People cannot understand how you have because it's such a thing that's part of you, you know?
Well, right. This is funny. So one of the people that went off on me, he's like, you're a queer. And you, on Twitter, you're going to laugh. He said, you're a queer.
Wait, who?
Some random person. So how could you be such a racist if you're a queer? I said, first of all, I fucking hate that word. I'd rather you call me a kike. I don't like the word queer. I've never used
you call me what? I'm sorry, dropped out.
Kike. Anything.
Oh.
Anything. But queer, I don't describe myself as queer, and I don't like the word. And I'm
That's
allowed,
a different thing.
Yeah, and I'm allowed to not like the word. They don't accept that you don't like it. So then, you know what he said to me? You're going to die. He goes, well, now you're just being transphobic. I said, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. I don't even understand what you're saying right now. Like, it doesn't.
Wait, go back. What did you say that he?
I don't like the word queer. I don't call myself queer. I'm married to a woman. I've been with guys. I don't really have label like. Because
queer is, a thing of what? Like, I know that's a thing though, isn't it?
It is a thing, but that is.
It's a different thing. I thought it's where you just dress like Doctor Who.
That's hysterical. I think it's when you put like baseball bats up your ass and then
That's pretty queer.
It's just a word I don't like. I don't even care what it means. Like, it's like me saying you have to be called it. I don't like being called queer.
That's my favorite thing is because by the way, talk about. Let's say transphobic. I thought the whole argument trans is for the right of people to define themselves.
It's all hypocrisy.
But isn't that interesting? Like, that's why I didn't like when I can't be the first person to not be into saying cisgendered about, like, listen, I'll call you whatever you want to be called, but you don't get to pick my thing. Why are you getting to name what the fuck I am? I'll tell you what the fuck I am. You don't make up some
Well, what have you
word.
been told you are?
Cisgendered.
What does that mean? I'm such an idiot. I'm sorry. I apologize to everyone that's listening. I don't even know.
Now you are transphobic to not know. Cisgender is when you feel comfortable in the body you were assigned by God. No, I'm joking. In the body you were assigned.
That's what that is?
Put it. Yeah.
Okay. So then I'm not. I don't know. I'm not fully comfortable. I don't own being a woman, so I understand that. Meaning I don't show cleavage and wear heel, like the whole thing.
Yeah, hey, you could. Everybody could say what I don't begrudge anybody's thing. Like, say whatever you want. Just I'm not gonna. It's like you said about queer. Like, don't tell me what I'll tell you who I am.
Exactly, and I'll tell you what I want to say about myself. Like, I'm allowed to call myself anything I want. The other thing is getting angry. I've always had a problem with. Yeah. People in the gay community that have been like, they should just accept who I am. Like, give people a second. Just give them a second. They don't understand it and they're fearful of it. So the whole trans thing, when people get very angry about it, I'm like people like my father he needed a second to understand what that is. He doesn't get it. So
well, there's also a thick layer of millennial autism over everything. So a lot of these people fundamentally don't even understand how to communicate with humans or relate to them because they have such Aspergery, like, cutoff. And also Twitter simulates that. Twitter simulates.
Yeah, it does.
Like a kind of, a lot of shit seems narcissist. I've seen where the person had Asperger's and they were like arrogant and they didn't give a shit, but they took offense for their own kind of shit.
Yeah. That's like a lot of comics are on. A lot of comics are fucking.
No, yeah,
I think
of course.
we all have something. I'm not kidding.
But
not
Twitter
all, but
is like, it simulates that. Twitter simulates being bipolar, and it creates that. And also, the way you deal with that, by the way, the guy saying that is just not responding at all.
Yeah, I know. Ari said that. A lot of people said don't respond. And I did immediately. I was like, but I did in a way saying you guys need to work on yourselves. Like, you're so angry. This cannot be about me.
Well, when you're a real pro, you'll realize don't even give them that. Just give them nothing. That enrage. First of all, it works, and it's more upsetting.
It is. They got really mad.
If you make a statement, this is what I learned the hard way, so you take it from me. Because everything's bait. This is not about what you did.
I know.
Okay? None of this is about what people go, how come people can't be redeemed if they made a mistake? It's not about that. Did you think it was because they told you? Well, they're lying. What it's about is you, in my head, are established in the institution I want to be in, whatever the fuck they think that is. And there's not enough spots for everyone. And this is a chance for me to clear out somebody from a spot. And like, even if I don't get the spot, maybe somebody who represents me.
I don't get it. I think it's so crazy.
That's how they move up now.
Yeah.
The entire way you move up, because that girl, especially for that girl to do a racial thing, like, I'll bet all the people in her 8 lovers, I bet they're all white, by the way. That's a white-ass black girl. That ain't, like, save it, sweetie. Like, I already know who you are.
I didn't look at the blog and all that stuff.
There's nobody who's fucking black and culturally black who would even bother with that. That's all white-ass fucking, that's who gets the maddest, is people that are basically white. And they because they want the black credit. So she's some fucking nerd. And good for you, Leila. But that's her trying to, because you're also a lesbian comic. So she's like, you're now kind of in her jurisdiction. A lesbian and a comic? I've gone through this where people think I'm in their jurisdiction because I'm a comic and that's what she's trying to do, police you.
I know. These comics were like, you out of all people? Like, you're not some like young, hot, straight girl trying to like, it just was crazy. It's like,
she saw an opportunity. This is the way they move up.
Yeah.
There's a great I'll text it to you. It's in like Psychology Today, but they did studies on.
Yeah, I want to see that.
The people who are involved in cancel culture are all almost. I mean, pretty much all of them from higher socioeconomic means. They come from either money or status. And this represents an easy way to, and they crave also, they have a desire for status and money. And this looks like like instead of building up a thing, because it is hard to build. I was saying before, like, I didn't want to be a businessman. It's hard to make your own thing.
Very.
They see status, and Twitter presents it that way is, okay, if I say, what's Jessica Kirson's status? Like, I think I'm only a 3, but I'll bet Jessica Kirson's like a 7. So I could fuck with her, and then she'll move down, and I move up to a 6.
God,
that's how they think.
This is insane. It's insane.
It's called redistribution of reputation. So when people say social Marxist, that is a thing. It's not a made up. It's literally, you're an established figure. I think we should break you down and redistribute your reputation among me and my friend, and I get a little more reputation. You know, that's what they get out of it.
That's crazy. Well, you seem you're so educated with a lot of stuff. Are you just like, you can't deal with people in the world? I mean, I can't deal with people because I just think everyone's so stupid, but I'm not educated.
I used to have a problem on social media of like I said, simulates bipolar shit. So like on Facebook, I would get manic, and I just took it as, oh, I'm writing. Because what I used to do on Facebook was, I would always say this sucks. I didn't have a fan page, I just had the regular page. I only need like 15 of you, so the rest of you could go. It's not going to be good. Yeah. This is just my process. So most of the shit, like 1 in 9 things will maybe be good. The rest will suck.
Yeah.
And by the way, you're not paying me for this, so I don't give a shit. I'm just letting you see how my brain works. That's how I look like a diary, which is crazy.
That's what Danny Cohen does. And some people love it, and some people are like, you're fucking crazy. Like, these stories are insane.
Well, here's why it is crazy, because what it all is about is harvesting information. It's not just although a corporation is doing that on you. You're just, like, instead of going to a therapist who will listen while you blather whatever you need to get out, you're going to some corporation that is picking through your shit. This is like more scummy than Scientology. They're picking through your shit to see what they can sell off, and then a bunch of other crazy people are going to rummage through your personal shit.
Everyone's
what can I get at? And so you can be picked apart, and That's what it's designed for. And it's to prey on your not narcissism, but your need for attention. You need to talk to people, the fake feeling that you're getting some, it creates all these fake things. And then I got a lot of jokes that were like, good, like probably more memorable jokes I had were from going on Facebook a lot.
Wow.
And now I have a record of the joke, but it's not copyrighted, which a lot of people found out the hard way when these things would just, all these Instagram things just steal their shit and put it up. So every part of it's stupid, and people will be in total denial about it. They're like, no, it's like, there's no need to be looking at it ever. I mean, the thing I realize is if I need to say something, sometimes I'll put, if I think it's something I think's kind of funny, I'll put it up. And I'll even look, how many likes did it get? I will not go through and respond or whatever.
Yeah.
I just, I'm not like, and all the times I ever have looked to see the thing, there's always 2 or 3 like things that are clearly bait.
Oh, sure. Yeah, they're
and
100%.
I'm just hip to it now. Like I was at the time, I was like, I love doing. I used to say I was like Crazy Joe Dravola from Seinfeld.
Yeah,
where he goes, I like to leave the door open to encourage intruders. So in my mind, I was like, like if you engage with me, you fucking lose. You just lost by engaging with me, because I have on Facebook all the time in the world to think of a response to you. Okay. But that's low self-esteem talking, because I'm not at all understanding that in their world, no, they just got to touch me or talk to me in some way.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was shit. I'm like, why? I'm not like, I'm on cable sometimes. I'm not like a big, so like, I don't even see what you get. Well, I didn't realize how desperate, shit, if I just had regular spots at the fucking Stand Up New York, I'll bet there's people that would want to fucking hound me. You know what I mean? Like, I did not understand the scale of loser, which
either.
I should, because I started in comedy. I know how desperate fucking shit is, but I just thought people smarten the fuck up. Nope. So you get spots, like people fucking target you for all kinds of crazy shit just to get on a podcast.
I know.
I didn't understand that.
Oh my God. I don't get it. I mean, I'm seeing it, but I just think it's so insane. I don't. Yeah. I have enough to deal with in my own life. I don't even look at what anyone's doing.
It's except on Twitter. That's how you get in that thing.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
All you got to do is just not. Well, Ari always handles the best, because people like wanted to fucking kill him for the Kobe comment.
I know.
By the way, I don't give, like, my whole thing. I was like, did you Ari tweet about Kobe? I'm like, so basically you're telling me nothing happened in the world. Like, what you're telling me is literally nothing happened. I don't give a shit what he said. What is, like, Kobe not? Does Kobe need like a good
I didn't
Yelp
care what he
heaven?
said. I didn't care what he said either. I don't.
Right.
Sometimes I'm like, whoa, that's a little.
Yeah, I was like, that just seems mean, but who cares?
And I'm like, good for him. Whatever. It's free speech.
Yeah. So anyway, like, he just stays offline, but people act. Everybody's doing this now. It's ironic because everybody, like, if you don't want to salute I couldn't salute the flag growing up. It wasn't allowed. Which, I also don't have any emotion about people not saluting the flag as now. I didn't take a knee. Like, I think the way we did it was better than Colin Kaepernick, because him taking a knee to me looks like he's like way into the flag more than the other people who are like, I will kneel before this flag. Like, I'm just saying you're mixing your message.
Yeah.
But the fact that anybody's mad about it, like,
I know,
on a veteran, even on the grounds of a veteran's, like, that's why they fought and died, so that he could do that.
I was just thinking about that yesterday, because some veterans have said that, and it's so true.
So people have their symbolic wubbies that they, and you're like, you will not, like.
I know, and then they get stuck on that one thing, and it's like, are you okay? Are you getting that upset about this one fucking thing for 2 years?
Yeah, that's what all of this shit is. Society is like, to trick you into investing your emotion to shit that does not concern you really at all. Whatever Colin Kaepernick did with the flag is it's none of my business. I don't give a fuck.
I don't either.
But now there's a constant media thing, and Twitter's made it worse. Like, the media always was vile and not, but at least they would say, yes, we're objective. They would pretend to go, we have to be objective, and then they weren't. Now they're like, oh, being objective, that's a thing that's not even possible. So we're just not, they go like, that's crazy to even expect that of us. So we're just going to go full tilt. Like, and that analog to, like, when Bush wanted to torture people, and they go, It's like the government's gonna torture people, but you don't make a law that says it's okay to torture people.
Right.
You want some deterrent. That's why.
Yeah.
You want to say, hey, we're objective, and we know you're not, but we just need some deterrent towards you going full tilt with your ridiculous. And of course, they went full tilt with it. And Twitter has made it so now, well, all these people on top don't want to pay for real, they don't want to pay for real comics and real writers and real something. Yeah. They want young kids that are stupid and emotional, that don't know what they're worth,
Yeah.
And they can hire them for stupid reasons. And that's the new way to
intern. I became an intern at the New York Times.
Even an intern, I'll give more credit to now with the way it is now.
Right.
People now are getting in off of what that girl tried to do to you. People get hired doing that to people.
I don't think that's okay. Before we go, I want to hear, because I know you're educated and you know more than I do. What do you think? I'm
not educated.
Well, I don't know. You're pretty smart. I'm pretty dumb.
I mean, I can read, but I didn't learn this in school. I would ask people to come on the show, Sherrod, and I'm like, this isn't like a political debate. I used to try to get feminists, which, by the way, what a mistake that was to do. They go, so I go, hey, come on the show. You seem interesting. People that seem like feisty, and I go, it's not. We just hang. It's not a thing. But we honestly don't know this stuff. You can just say it. Always refuse. Then say I harass them. I harass them by saying, would you like to come on my show? Okay.
Yeah, I know.
And so it's a mistake to do that, but they would go, you need to educate yourself. I'm like, okay, so I'll read your shit.
Yeah, I'm always willing to do that too, because there's a lot I don't know. But what do you think is going to happen? Do you think Trump is going to win?
Of course. Do people think he's not going to win?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess anything's possible, but everybody's thinks of Trump like the people that think he's great, they go by that. They go, oh, these idiots. Will anything make them drop Trump? No. But what do you care? Were they going to vote for Hillary? No. The people that think he's great, right? Don't even worry about them.
I know. It's more people in the middle and this
the people. So right now, I'm just not going to vote, okay? But if I was angry or had one more white male fucking this or that at me, I'll go vote for Trump because fuck you. But right now, I'm just not voting. But I'll never vote for a fucking Democrat. After all this bullshit that I just watched Democrats support and fucking fuck you. By the way, Obama sucked too. I was for him. So you got to worry about the people who supported Obama that now caught on to Obama and have no idea what all that woke shit, whatever you think of Trump, woke is worse to the vast swath of the majority of people. Not in L.A. and New York, and in I would consider myself a New York kind of liberal. Mm-hmm. And one thing I've noticed about liberals is there's the Jon Stewart-y kind of generation.
Yeah,
that they're still fighting the battle in their heads versus the religious right or something, and they don't understand that the fucking left of them hates their guts and wants to destroy them. So it just hasn't happened. If it hasn't happened to you yet, right? And you're in entertainment, you're like, oh my God, these alt-right. There's no fucking alt-right. Worry about the fucking commies that want you ruined.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not real commies. They think they are, but they want you to, and they hate you. They love a Nazi because they get to get in a fist fight with that guy. There's not enough Nazis to go around. That's what the problem is. So they have to keep making new ones. And they're going to make you one. The next thing you know, you'll be a liberal your whole life, and you're like, oh, he's an alt-right Nazi. They've done it a million times.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is the Democrats fucked up. There's nobody who's doing what they're. I love Jimmy Dore. It's one of my favorite shows, and because he has principles. Mm-hmm. The Democrats should have been getting my health care. Like Obama sold us the fuck out. Okay, that's bottom line, and it's easy because he's a perfect corporate beard.
Yeah.
Because I still if I met him, I wouldn't say any of the things I don't like. I wouldn't bring up one of them. I'd be like, oh, cool, Obama. That's how much likable. Yeah. And so he's a beard for corporate, and that's what we have now, and that's what woke is. The only reason woke's going is because the donor class, it's useful for them at the moment because they think it's protecting them. And they still don't get it.
It's not helping. Oh my God.
So they think they're going to kick all these people. Anybody you see getting in trouble or caught for anything, it's just like El Chapo. You think El Chapo was the head of Sinaloa? He's not. He's the guy that they've allowed you to take. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because he was costing Weinstein. He's just costing us more money than he's bringing in. That's why he was allowed to do what he was allowed to do, and that's what runs it. That ain't gonna fucking change. So with all your hashtag, everybody's
with the money,
they're addressing the wrong things.
Power. I know. It's all about money and power and religion, and it always will be. You know.
Yeah, well, at least with religion, what I'll say for religion is religion was like Saddam Hussein, and these new people are ISIS.
Mm-hmm.
And Saddam was better. It would have been better not to keep Saddam Hussein, because now now that meaning is taken out of people's lives out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not atheist at all, but I'm not Christian. But if I wanted to be atheist, I'm qualified to be.
Yeah.
Because I already know what it is to have a belief system, and I know what I like. And these kids don't even understand, they don't even understand religion or religious
I know
people.
they don't understand.
And they are religious at the same time.
Yeah.
It's so dangerous. And they have so all the evil of religion, none of the good, none of the forgiveness of Christ.
Right. All that. I know.
Yeah, none of it. So, it's not better, but what'll happen is people, it's such a vicious movement, it devours itself. So at a certain point, people are like, I don't give, and all you got to do is have your own thing. Don't worry about if Netflix is, that's what I constantly
yeah,
like,
I agree
Netflix,
with you completely. I know. You do it yourself now.
Yeah, do your own thing, because Netflix will come to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fucking Artie has tons of Netflix things.
Yeah.
The problem with him again, even after the Kobe thing. His agent's fake, dropped him. You know what I mean? Because Artie's a moneymaker.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be an earner. I guess that's what it boils down.
That's true. It's what it all boils down to. It's so true. I cannot wait to see what you and Kyle. Well, tell people where they can watch all this. They need to know.
Oh, here, I'll tell you. It's on page. Yeah, because we just put a new song up on his Instagram. It's like trying to find the balance of. He has a good Instagram following, but you got to still put up shit for free.
Yeah.
I think how it's going to go is we'll put stuff on the Patreon for it, and then it'll go up for free. But he just put a song up that was the production was murderous, very murderous on him. I know, because he had to film it himself.
He told me I have to see it. I'm going to watch it when we get off.
Oh, watch the country song, and hold on, I'll tell you the Patreon. It is, come on. I have to do a search.
No problem. And you have a podcast tlike
Yeah, it's called Can't Get Right. It's on Gas Digital.
Awesome.
I've had people try to cancel me on that one too for some nonsense, but the bottom line is I'm like, I work for Louis J. Gomez. What do you think is going to happen?
I know. It's like, if you want it, you're never going to get. It's like, talk about someone who.
Are you fucking joking? I tweeted it. That's where I'll find it. Fuck. I don't know how to use these. Okay, so it's patreon.com/Kyle Dunnigan. I guess I could
Kyle
just said
Dunnigan. And Kurt writes with him and films and does all this stuff, and they're hysterical. These videos.
The song, country song, it's really, because me and him wrote the song that won an Emmy on Schumer show. That was me and him.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so I like writing songs because he'll have a good idea. I don't know, watch it. It's like a.
If you ever want to write a song for him to sing with, I sing also. If you ever want to do that and film something, it would be hysterical.
Yeah, well, we're going to do another episode of Pussies. Do you know his thing, Pussies?
Yeah, I can't take it. I've been
Well, the one we're doing is really funny. But on the Patreon, the long version of Pussies is up, which is makes me laugh. It's like our podcast. And then I hope that, so when we do this new one, then we can put that one up on YouTube if people don't want to pay. But that was his thing before I got there. He had a great Instagram before I even got there.
Yeah. I mean, it just got better and better, but he's hysterical.
I wanted to do this. I was a year and a half ago, I was like, Kyle, because he was going to Comedy Central to try to make his thing into a show. And I was like, why would you bring it to them? Just what did they bring to it? Because Annie had just showed me his shit, and I went through all of them. I'm like, if he had a subscription, I would pay to watch these if he had more. And I'm like, and he did it all on his own without any network, but conditioned. That's what I'm talking about. The condition to go to Comedy Central and try to get it, and they're gonna fuck it up.
Yeah, I don't think that way at all. I have not thought that way in years. Thank God.
Well, dude, because he's talented, and a lot of people will be very happy to have him making them funnier.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And just very happy with him not taking a center. And so anyway, Kyle, I go. It was a year and a half ago, and that it didn't work out. And and then he was like, all right, let's make this thing. So I started with the first ones I did with him was the Bill Maher gangbang. After Bill Maher was on Rogan and denied knowing about Kyle. They went on vacation together before and pretend not to know because he doesn't like depression. Anyway, go to patreon.com/Kyle Dunnigan, or you can go on his Instagram, Kyle Dunnigan1. He doesn't know just Kyle Dunnigan.
I love it.
See the stuff.
It's so great. Kurt, thank you so much for doing this.
Yes,
you're awesome.
Yeah, come do mine, will you?
I would love to anytime. I would love it. You're in LA,
with George
right?
Wallace. What?
You're in LA.
Yeah.
Right? I wish you were in New York. Maybe you should come here. We're all here.
I want to be out of any city, to be honest.
I
LA,
know.
but I have my little home studio in here in my apartment, and then as expensive as is the money, it's still a lot. I get to live by myself here in this apartment, and
that's
and
good.
like I hadn't done that for a long time, and I've gotten accustomed to it.
Yeah, I get it.
I feel like that'll go away in New York.
It will.
Yeah.
We'll all be, everyone
right.
would be around you constantly. Yeah.
And by the way, after they're all done with the defunding the police shit, you're not going to want to be in the city.
Oh, I'm on Long Island.
Nonsense is done,
I'm on Long Island, and I am not right in the city. Thank God. All right. Well, I adore you. I will talk to you soon. Thank you again.
all right, thank you.
And I'll do your podcast anytime.
All right, that's awesome. Yeah, I think I got George Wallace, I think, next week, so maybe come on with George.
Oh my God, I would love to.
Yeah, he's the best. All right, thanks, Jessica.
Bye,
Love you.
honey.
Bye.
Love you.